Well, people, welcome to the Mind Spark. It's your boy LOWZ. And before I dive into what we're going to be doing today, I just want to thank y'all for growing with us, watching our content, liking, sharing. Do not forget to subscribe. And we also would like you guys to feel free to comment in the comment section. Let us know how you feel about the program. We'd really appreciate that. And yeah, I like that. So today, we are about to dive into something very exciting. As you can see, I have two beautiful ladies with me, and these guys are artists. So, how I got to come across these guys' music is through a channel that you are very familiar with, and that's YouTube. You guys, I'd advise you to dive into what these ladies are doing. They are super talented. The music is out of this world. So, I'll just go on and say, on my left, we have Anushka here, a very young artist. You can introduce yourself, say hi to the people.
Hi, my name is Anushka, and you can catch me on most streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and my handle on Instagram and other places like TikTok and Twitter. Well, it's called X now, but it's Anushka's World without the O because I'm going to take over.
Yeah, I like that. On my right here, we have the Nemesis. Yeah, so the Nemesis, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name's Nemesis versus LADYRYN. You can also catch me on all digital platforms. I'm a rapper and a singer, and I look forward to having a chat with you guys.
All right. So there we have it, guys. So before we dive into what you guys are all about when it comes to the music and all that, I'll just like us to have a chat. Tell me where you're from, your upbringing, if you don't mind. Just give me and the viewers a perspective of who Anushka and the Nemesis are. You know what I'm saying? So I'll start with the Nemesis. You can take it.
Okay, so I was born and raised in a little town called LOWZ. I was raised on a farm, so really? I'm a farm girl.
Oh, really? Okay.
So my heritage is it's a mix. Okay. So I have Scottish heritage, LOWZ heritage, Bemba heritage, and British heritage.
Strong.
Slash.
Okay, so, I see.
I'm a mix.
Okay, nice.
And that's also influenced my music as well, because being exposed to different culture and background and my family is also very musical. So I was also around music.
Nice. Okay.
So then moved to Lusaka. Okay. And decided to start pursuing my career in music.
Okay, nice. Cool stuff.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. I like that. And Anushka?
So I was definitely conceived here, but my mom went back to India to give birth to me, and then I landed back in Lusaka when I was a month old. I grew up in Lusaka. I went to Nkwazi Primary School, went to India to an all-girls Christian boarding school for 3 years. Came back, finished at International School of Lusaka, and practically been moving around here and there to different places, but this is practically home for me. I grew up here. Okay. Definitely been influenced as a third culture kid by various influences for music, but I started very young. Yeah.
Okay. So seeing that you're both from different ethnicities to what we have here in Zambia, how's that been for y'all growing up? Has Zambia embraced y'all? Do you feel like this is home, even though, you're born here and whatnot, but for the fact that you're a bit different from all of us, how has that been in your day-to-day lives?
Every time I get asked this question, it's my answer is always the same. So, growing up mixed, I'm never too white for my black friends.
Okay.
And I'm never too black for my white friends. So it's where do you fit in? But eventually I found my people also going to international schools and stuff like that.
Okay.
So for me, it's not that bad. I think it's just the issue when it comes to the local language. I always get asked, why don't you rap in local language? Why don't you rap in Bemba? If you claim to be Bemba, why don't you rap in LOWZ? It's not that I can't rap in Bemba or LOWZ, it's just I don't want to butcher the language. Because I'm not really fluent.
Yeah, not in your zone when you're there, so you wouldn't deliver what you want to say in your preference tongue. Yeah,
and I'm more comfortable in English as well. And I feel like it's easier for me to communicate that way.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, I see. And Anushka?
I think growing up Indian in Zambia has been definitely a unique experience.
Okay.
However, I know there's a lot of Indians out there that can relate to, like
What
growing
you
up.
talking
Yeah.
about? Okay.
But obviously, growing up, when you're different from other people, they do point out your differences. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been called the curry girl growing up, but it's okay because I love
It's
curry.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Stand on it.
yeah, and I guess being a third culture kid mixed with all these cultures around me, Zambia, and also being exposed to people from different places all around the world, because the diaspora is huge,
Yeah, true.
right? It's honestly, I feel like it's made me a better person, because it sidelines a lot of the bigotry that comes from just being from one culture sometimes.
I hear you.
So yeah, there's definitely pros and cons to being different, but I would always choose being different over being average.
It's good to be extraordinary.
That's
All right, cool stuff. Okay, so let's now dive into the music. What made you go on this path to say, you know what, I think music, that's what I'm gonna do. I love hearing it, and I actually want to take it a step further and now make music. So like, what made you go into that direction and not be a doctor or a nurse? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Please let me know how that worked for you, Nemesis.
Okay, so you know me, you know my background, you know my musical
Yeah,
history in
yeah,
Lusaka,
yeah.
and the people I know,
Yeah.
and the people that have also influenced some of the things I've been doing.
Yeah, I do.
But like,
I want
for
them
me-
to know, though. I want
Okay,
them to know.
so there was this old rap group called the Street Bangers, and my brother was a member, and his friends.
Shout out to the
Shout
Street
out to the
Bangers.
Street
Those
Bangers.
guys are legends. If you don't know them, you better lock
Do
in.
your research.
Yeah.
So I was always like going to the studio with my brother and just like wondering like, what is this about? Like, and then I always got bored, but I didn't know I was subconsciously learning and
Tuning
sucking
in.
up knowledge. And then eventually I was like, I went through a phase in my life where I was taking drugs and stuff, and I was going through a lot of hurt and pain.
Okay.
And I didn't know how to express it in a healthy way. Like I would
Okay.
either fight, drug, like the negative stuff. So eventually I wrote a poem called Cocaine Tears.
Okay.
It was when I was sobering up.
Okay.
And Immaculate, who's a member, we're sitting in his car just chilling, and he's like, dude, you know you can rap. I was like, what do you mean? So I was reading the poem to him. He's like, nah, you can rap.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, play the beat again. He's like, read it. And I read the poem. He's like, nah, say it with your chest.
Like,
Say it with your chest.
stand on it.
And so I did. And then
So shout out to
Shout out to
Immaculate.
Immaculate.
Straight up.
And then from that day, like I think 2 days later, he kept giving me challenges and whatever.
Okay.
On the third day, he's like, you know what? I actually thought I needed to write your bars for you, but you got it. Like
You
you're
actually
good.
got
You're
this.
good. You're good. So you
Okay.
just need to now like go out there and like find studios and connect with people on your own without me and see if you want to do it. Initially, it's like, yeah, it's fun, and then you get the little nuances, like the behind the scenes. The business side of it is not as fun for
okay.
me personally.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of just a brief history. And like, yeah, man, music is just expression for me.
At the end of the
it's
day.
language.
Yeah,
It's
true
language.
that.
Yeah.
All right, cool stuff. Anushka, please run us down how it's been.
So I suppose we're talking about purpose
Yeah,
with
like
music
what
and on
drove
how
you to that?
what drove me to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So I would say my first exposure towards any kind of art and music was definitely from my mother.
Oh, wow.
And I think she noticed I was a little strange as a kid. I was quite strange.
Strange in what way?
Apparently I just had too much energy, too
Okay.
much in me, too
Okay.
much emotion, too much.
Like you're a busy kid.
I was a busy kid. You couldn't let go of my hand.
Off that sugar.
Yeah, not even off that
No, I'm
sugar. Just
joking.
off that
Yeah.
whatever was a little autistic. You know what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
But so she did this thing and she didn't really know how to deal with it, so she threw me into like dance, movement,
Okay.
running, anything like with activity.
So she like tried to channel that energy in something.
Exactly. She
Okay.
didn't want to doing in any like bad places, and she would sing a lot.
Oh,
So
okay.
I started dancing quite at a young age. I started swimming and started doing athletics as well.
Okay.
I don't do athletics anymore, but like music stuck with me. So I think my mother is the person who inspired me through dance and music. She was a singer and she was a big community member. She was a housewife, but she was a huge community member.
Okay,
And,
okay.
and for me, music was how to connect people.
Shout out to mom.
Yeah,
Shout out to mom.
Because for me, I think the lack of connection, growing up feeling different, always drove me towards music because
Okay.
music made me feel connected.
Okay.
Music gave me a safe space for the things I felt growing up in adolescence, in my teenage years, my young adult years. I'm 25 now.
Okay.
And to this day, I think my biggest inspiration will always remain my mother. Yeah, I can name throw and say people like Kanye,
Yeah.
Amy Winehouse, all these different artists
Okay.
have given me space to do art. I can say all that, but my mom always takes the cake. Because she showed me that music isn't about fame and glory, it's about purpose and passion.
I like that. I like that.
And I wanted to help people. I could have become a doctor to help people,
Oh, yeah?
but I think I'm better equipped to do music than to be a doctor.
You know, you're actually healing souls also, because you know, music is, as they say, food for the soul.
Yeah,
you know?
and in Hinduism and in most religions, they say one of the ways to get close to God is to sing.
True
praise.
that. True that.
So-
True that. True that. I like that. I like that. Cool stuff. Okay, so that's interesting. That's interesting. I like that. And so let's say on a normal day, how do the words, the lyrics, like what gets you into your creative space? Like how's your creative process? How does that go?
You want to start with me first?
Yeah.
Okay, I believe I can take inspiration from anywhere.
Okay.
Literally, where we're seated at, I can start singing about how the day is so cold and I'm still here with some cool people, you know? So
Yeah.
for me, inspiration comes from every little thing, every little experience, and a creative process sometimes can come straight from the heart, or sometimes I sit and calculate and plan
Okay.
and map out what I want. It can come from either way,
Okay,
but it
okay.
always comes from the heart.
I like
don't
that.
like pretending.
All right, so you're in the moment, you know, you're tapping into what your feelings are all bringing out there. I like that. That's more original, so I guess that's why your music sounds the way it does. Yeah, and now for the Nemesis, please tell us, how does the magic happen?
For me, it's kind of similar. It's also like, it starts with a feeling. Let's
Okay.
say if I'm angry, ooh, I want to write some bars. Or if I'm sad, I'll just start humming something.
Okay.
And then that feeling, the words will just come naturally. Like, okay, if I'm feeling sad, what words do you relate with sadness? And also like observing, like she said, your surroundings.
Okay.
But the main thing I think is like everyone shouldn't shy away from being uniquely themselves, because that's what makes your music different. That's what makes you connect with people, because they can tell if you're being authentic or not.
If you're faking it.
Because I'm not gonna start singing about, ooh, I got a big, I got money, I got this, I got that. I'm gonna sing about, oh no, today I feel really sad.
Yeah.
I'm hurt. My heart is so. I hope there's someone who can like.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. So like when I listen to y'all's music, I noticed like I could tap into it because it was real. You know, it wasn't talking about the bougie, this, that. It was talking about real life issues like what you were going through at that time, and same with you. And for me, that's what we call conscious music in a way, because it makes sense. You can relate to it depending on what type of mood you're in. You know, you can play that. It's not just about, like they say, bubble gum. Like,
Yeah.
it's music with a purpose. And that's why I was like, you know what? Let me have these ladies come through and spark your minds.
Thank you for having us again,
Yeah, sure. Thank you for coming. Because, like you guys are really doing something that I think has more than just enough potential. I would like our viewers, our listeners to tap into what you guys are doing, because I feel like it's really good stuff, you know. Okay, so I'm moving on to my other question. I know, so let me start with you, Nemesis. How long have you been in the music space?
Sheesh. Okay, from conception. But okay, on a serious note, like 2013.
Wow. Wow.
But recording, my actual first recording was my baby, my first project, 2018.
Okay. Okay.
Ever since then, I've been dropping like singles, but they're not my songs
Okay.
because I got tied up in a bad contract
Oh,
that just
okay.
expired last year. So
Oh, I
I
see.
boycotted the deal. So
Okay.
basically, they owned everything. They owned my music, and so they wanted me to make music they wanted, and I was like,
So it was kind of like driving you from you. Like you're not allowed to do you.
I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy doing it, and like I just said, you know what? I'd rather feature on other people's projects and wait
For your time.
for me to ride this wave out
I
till
see.
like and do my own full projects again,
Okay.
which I'm actually working on right now, which is great.
Oh, okay, nice.
But
So,
yeah.
so sorry to cut you short. Are you able to talk about the album you did at that time, or like
I
you
can
just
talk
want?
about it, but
or you
the
just wanna
only
leave
reason
that
I
at
don't
that?
talk about it is just because of the promotion and stuff. But
Okay,
like
I
I
see.
will talk about it so people can listen to it.
Yeah. So.
But like it's just it hurts. It's one of the heartbreaks I've experienced in the
Okay,
industry.
I see.
Yeah.
Say less. Say less.
Yeah.
Say less. Appreciate that. And for you, Anushka, when did you start making music?
So I used to be a really bad singer. When I was growing up, people actually complained when I sang. So
Wow.
around the ages of 10 to 11, I was like, need to work on this.
Okay.
And I spent a lot of time alone. So I would spend hours and hours and hours in this chapel in the middle of our boarding school singing.
Oh, okay.
So I started writing music around 11, 12. I picked up a guitar, learned off of the internet. I would spend hours in the computer lab, like decoding chords
Wow,
and everything.
wow. Like
Take
you
it back
took
to
the
the
time.
chapel and sit down and learn how to play. And then when I was 16, I remember I went to a songwriting workshop and shout out Namvula. She's a Scottish singer
Okay.
based in Zambia.
Okay.
And gone to the UK to tour.
Okay.
She helped me record my first song.
Oh, okay.
Her partner and her sat me down in a home-make studio and we recorded my first song and I posted it on SoundCloud.
Okay.
Sorry, fun fact. She's actually related to my cousin, the guy you talking about, Jerome.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
cool.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
We
so-
learning things
Yeah, so-
right here, right now. Nice,
appreciate that.
nice, nice.
I recorded my first song and I posted it on SoundCloud and it got like around 2,000 streams.
Wow,
And I was
nice.
quite surprised
Nice.
because for me music
Big
was
ups.
just like a personal thing. It wasn't something I wanted to take to the stage or anything.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a writer when
Oh.
I was like growing up.
Okay,
Or a
okay.
model. So I started performing on stage in high school and decided I was getting really comfortable.
Okay.
And it's something that made me feel fulfilled.
Okay.
And anyways, after going through a lot of personal issues from about 2018 to 2020, I took a long break away from anything.
Okay.
And I want to shout out Thomas, T the G. Back in end of 21, he hit me up on Instagram. He said, I think you can be a star.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, I just want to make music. And
I'm not
so,
in it for that.
but I trusted him and we started working together. And he introduced me to a lot of cool people at Blueprint Studio. Shout out Trey and Steez. And they started producing for me.
Okay.
And I started experimenting. And I'm still experimenting. So it's been about 3 years that I've started professionally putting music out. And no, I'm still working on my sound and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, 3 years.
Okay. Okay.
3,
All
4
right.
years. Yeah.
Okay. So nice, nice. So, based on what you guys have told me, that's almost like, if I calculate, that's about a good 5 years of dedicating yourself to this, you know? And I'm sure in those years or time that you have given to this music, there's been a lot of ups and downs, you know? And I don't know if you guys would be comfortable into diving into that, you know? Just tell us like the challenges you faced on whether it's just studio time, whether, you know what I'm saying? Like, just let us know how it is being an artist here in Zambia and like what it takes to be where you guys are now, you know?
Okay, so firstly, if you want to do music, you have to really want to do it. That's all I'm going to say. If you really want to do music, you're going to have to be ready for like the sleepless nights, the arguments, the disagreements, like the setbacks, like you said, like people just being people.
Yeah, exactly. Funny energies. That's what we'll call it for now. Funny energies.
Funny energies. But for me, I think you just have to also just be passionate. You know what I mean? Like your reason to do it. Why is your reason? Like Anushka said, she wanted to help people. I'm kind of similar in the sense that I have a lot of empathy for the mental health community, like and people that have depression or ADHD or bipolar or whatever the case is. I feel like because I can relate personally to those things, I want to advocate for those people and show them that, look, it's okay to be different. It's okay to be messed up in the head, quote unquote, messed up in the head, but you can still do things that someone who is not messed up in the head, you know, you can still progress in life and you can still find something that'll counter that like negative feeling. So for me, it's like it's healing. You know, like it's healing, it's medicine,
therapy in its own way.
it's oxygen.
It's everything.
Yeah, it's everything.
I like that. That's nice. That's nice. And for you, Anushka?
Okay, if we're talking about breaking into the industry and,
Like what?
and all that.
Like what you've experienced, just like on your own, how it's
Okay.
been.
So I would definitely say from a professional standpoint, you need to have thick skin
True.
because a lot of people will try to treat you differently, sometimes take advantage of you, and then there's people who will like push you and be there for you and actually be positive. So it's one of the things you need to learn how to discern who's your friend and who's not. I would say another thing is always be comfortable in yourself and be authentic. And the right attitude, work hard, and nothing comes easy.
True that.
Nothing comes easy, and you just have to maintain your passion. And I would never tell you to abandon everything else just for your music. You can be a star and a student.
Yeah, at the same time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So keep doing things that you want to. I believe in people who can have multi-potential talent.
Multi-talented
Exactly.
people. Yeah.
So I think it's just be driven and be confident in what you do and just keep working hard. I would say. For me and my personal experience, because of everything I've been through, I still struggled with personal issues
Okay.
while trying to start up my career. So I would say it did mess with me and it did cause a little bit of me not being reliable as an artist, but I think I took time away and worked on my mental health.
Okay.
And then decided that if I'm going to treat music as a career, I need to have the best work ethic as possible.
Yeah, true that.
And I will always say that it's very, very important to balance your health with your professional career, because your professional career is worth nothing if you're not healthy.
True that.
And regarding on some of the things that Nemesis was saying, what I do advocate for in my music is a lot of big issues to do with human rights.
Music with a purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
And when I say human rights, I really mean decency in morality
basic,
and ethic.
yeah,
You know,
stuff, you know,
so
that people
we can
should
talk
not-
about mental health issues. We can talk about gender-based violence. We can talk about racism. So many things that happen towards everyone. You know, that causes the dissonance between people. And for me personally, all of this, I want to have a platform to be able to connect people and kind of destroy this notion that we can't be united.
True that. I like that. So here's something that I picked from both of you that you mentioned, which is an issue to do with mental health. So I'm not gonna speak for all Zambians, but majority of the Zambians I've come across think mental health is something like it's for people out there, like people here in Zambia cannot go through mental health issues. Maybe it's only till recently that people have actually come to notice that, you know what, this is actually a real thing, and people do get affected by this, you know.
Look at the male suicide rate.
You know, things like that. Like the numbers are going up and whatnot. So I just think that it's pivotal that we address such issues and not take it lightly. Like you guys have said, you guys have battled with these things, and thank God you guys have come out the way you guys are. You know, because it's not easy, especially if there's no one there to support you, or someone will just be like, that girl's got issues. But you know, like it's something that you're really going through, and you need just to have a minute to talk to people. You know, just how was your day, all that kind of stuff. It plays a big role. So let's be aware of that, guys.
Can I just add one more thing?
Yeah, sure.
In regards to like the struggles and starting out in the industry, you have to make sure you have a plan of income. Like Anushka said, you can be a student and a musician, but you have to have a way to support yourself, because initially you're not going to have that big backing of a business. You're not going to have the brand deal or the endorsements. You have to start from scratch, basically.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, true. Like those are the things I wanted to hear. Like, so let's say studio time. How much does that cost? Like, you know, how much do these guys with studios charge? Or like, let's say even these. What's the biggest like recording label here in Zambia? Is it Nexus Music?
Maybe.
Apa Eliso. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's his. Okay. So like, can anyone walk up to them and be like, "Yo, I'm an artist. I got the money. I want to pay. Can I do some music?" Like, has that happened to any of you? Or like, how did you guys get studio time?
Shout out to the manager behind the scenes.
Yeah.
She got the hookup. That's what happened.
Okay. I see. You can tell us.
Sometimes it depends on the vibe and the connection that you make with your producer, because you can have an agreement where you work on a project and pay later, or you can pay in installments, or you get invited to a place, or they hear your music.
Sorry, can I play devil's advocate? Have you had moments where it's like, yo, I'm forget the money, like, show me a little something. Like, how'd you deal with that? How do you deal with that?
Okay, I think I know what you mean. That's happened to me before. Like, I'm not gonna say your name. I'm not gonna say your name, but you know who you are. So he was like trying to offer favors for a free tape, and I'm like, bruh.
Like, yo.
Bruh,
Where they do
really?
that at?
I thought we were here to make music, not that kind of music.
You
know, music.
Okay.
So yeah, it does happen sometimes, which is sad as well. Like, it's really hard to be a female in this industry because we go through a lot. You know, like we get sexualized, we get high studio prices because we're female. We get bad deals. We get like a lot of criticism as well. Like just recently, Towela Kaira, her interview. Like, I think she's really confident and she's a beautiful woman.
Yeah, shout out to her.
And she's very talented as well.
Yeah, true that.
And why are we not demonizing Beyonce? Why are we not demonizing Doja Cat? And then why cannot? But that's the problem. Why is it not okay for her to look sexy?
Like, own it.
Yeah.
Like, yo,
and I think she's owning it.
Yeah, like,
so the people that are bothered,
Yeah.
stay bothered. But yeah, no, it's kind of hard. But then that goes back to my point. If you want to do this, you better keep remembering your why. Because during that period of waiting, bro, I swear I was like, oh, I really want to quit. I was crying so much. I was depressed, but I was still writing, still working, learning piano, doing this, composing, like just feeding myself with music, even though I couldn't record. Watching my peers progress was painful, ended up in a few altercations because of the pain and struggles I was going through. And instead of me dealing with it in a healthy way, I started projecting my anger and my pain and like, but yeah, it's not easy being a lady.
Yeah, true that. And did you ever have any funny scenarios?
Yeah, there was this one big artist who looked at me and he was like giving me advice, and he's like,
Yeah, we'll call it that.
he's like, you know,
Bad boy.
it's really easy for a woman like you to become big. All you gotta do is, you know, a little some.
Yeah.
And then I looked at him and like I squinted real hard, and I said, I hear you. And then never spoke to him again.
Respect to that. Respect to that. So it all comes down to yourself also, your integrity, your morals, you
Yeah.
know? Like,
And they really need to stop doing that because it takes away from the music. At the end of the
Exactly.
day, it's
Like-
really like off-putting, you know.
guys, let's behave, guys. Let's let these ladies work. To all the ladies out there, like, let them work. Because they are very talented.
It's such a paradox where they complain about certain working ladies, and then when it comes to women who are putting in the work, they want to just put them in the same place as the working
Exactly.
ladies, and then it's just like, who's
What?
creating the market for these things?
Yeah, like,
know?
true.
But I really want to pull back and come to, relationships with studio time and all that.
Okay.
I would say that a lot of the people I work with who are genuine, a lot of us are starting from some of the similar standpoints. We don't got money,
Yeah.
we got talent.
Start
and
from the
skill.
bottom now here, those vibes. Yeah.
So all of
Yeah.
us, we're trying to like help each other out.
I
So
like that.
for example, I'll go to a producer and I look at him and say, okay, let's make out a deal. You do this for me, I'll do this for you. For example, they say, can I come record? And I promise you, anytime you need my vocals on some, I'll always.
I got
I
you.
got you.
I got you.
So stuff like that happens, and
Service
then,
exchange.
and sometimes they'll come up with really like good deals.
Okay.
For example, a really good deal I got one time was I used to pay like a token amount every month,
Okay.
and I would be allowed to record as much as I want in that month.
Okay.
So yeah, and I think it really comes down to what you're trying to achieve with each other.
Okay.
It might just be for creative fun, but at the same time, we're all just trying to push each other up.
True that. True that.
Put each other on.
True that.
So that's really my goal. I want to make sure that the people I end up making music with are there with me at the top too.
All right. I like that. So, would you like to name drop a few of those positive people that will really embrace you to say, you got talent, you come through, let's work? Would you like to name drop or just shout out like codes or something to anyone?
Shout out Blueprint Studio, shout out Trey, shout out Steve's Beats, shout out Eco A, shout out Ike Lowry, shout out Wanna G, shout out Street Bangers, shout out J Cash, shout out Cleo Ice Cream, shout out Bombshell, shout out Toela Kaira, shout out Oreo. How's about
2-6.
Oreo?
2-6.
Shout out 2-6. Shout out
Okay.
anybody that's doing music right now. Shout out to you. Shout out Yase. Yase's coming through. Shout out Concrete Jungle. Shout out Mo, the manager behind the scenes.
Yeah, she'll be coming
Shout
through
out
in
to
a bit.
everybody, you know what I mean? Like,
Shout out
if you're doing-
Cattell, shout out Bando, shout out Uchi, shout
yeah,
out
Bando.
Taylor J,
Yeah.
shout out Third Eye, shout out Mansa, shout out Blue, shout out Don Souza.
Oh yeah, Souza.
Yeah,
Shout out Gunhouse, Iwadoro.
Iwadoro, shout out Lou
Sixer
Dennis,
Studios.
shout out Jet Ski,
Shout out Jessica.
shout out Butterfly
Oh,
Joe.
wow, that tells me there's a lot of
There's a
lot of, like, the
huge
music scene in Zambia
Underground
is
talent community
for
that
real.
deserves the spotlight in Zambia, because these are the kind of people that will take Zambia to the global stage. They're incredible musicians. here.
Okay.
Incredible talent in Zambia, honestly.
So like for me, here's a question I want to ask. So you see, like you guys have done a lot of shout outs to a lot of people. So for me, that tells me there's a lot of people involved in this music scene here in Zambia. But like when I come to look at it, we get to hear similar beats, similar styles on the mainstream. You know what I mean? And I'm just thinking like to say, yo, what's going on with my people? There's more to this. And I'm not being a hater. I'm just saying like we need to be diverse because times have changed. People here in Zambia have changed too. The sound has changed. So like I was saying, if you guys listen to what these ladies are doing, your mind will be blown because it's out of this world. So I'm just thinking like, what do you think we need to do to change the narrative? You know, like just to let people jump onto this new wave. Oh, okay.
So I would definitely say just keep an open mind to everyone who's like already established. Just be open-minded. You don't know which young hungry kid or person who's out there, old, young, whatever, who's making some type of music that can gel well with you. You don't know what new stuff we could create, new
Exactly.
sounds that could take over the world by storm.
Like we could create a whole new genre.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. And
Some calendula infused with something.
Yeah,
you know,
with some
and
trap,
own
you
that.
know, that's what I'm
You know,
saying.
and own that.
like,
you know?
some soul,
Yeah.
some Indian shit
Yeah.
mixed with. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Nah,
So you know, just
express yourself.
like just. You don't know what we could make out in that gumbo pot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
like full of all these sounds. Like
Yeah.
imagine a song with me and Yo Maps. You know
Imagine
what I'm
that.
saying? You know
Like,
what
yo,
I'm saying?
I
That's
hope he sees that.
Yeah, yo, man.
And there's I seen this Indian man who's singing in the local language.
For real?
Yeah, and
Wow.
I'm just like, yeah.
I would love to see stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
you know?
what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I think, can you keep an open mind?
Yeah.
That's the statement.
I
Just
think that's
keep an
the-
open mind.
that's-
'Cause look
that's
at what
the movement.
Nigeria's doing, what South Africa's doing. We can do the same thing from Zambia.
Okay, okay. And like just create our own wave, ain't it? Alright, cool. And what would you think?
There are a lot of established artists that do reach out, like Yo Maps, J Cash, but you have to put in the work to get noticed as well by those big names. You can't just say, hey, I want to do music and have nothing to show for it. So you have to also always stay ready. And there used to be a lot of gatekeeping. I don't know how about now, if there is still a bit of gatekeeping, but it goes down to your relationships again with people, networking, finding yourself in the right event. You
Okay.
never know, and they're easy to approach. Just approach them, say hi, have a conversation, and then talk about yourself and your music and sell your brand. Because the underground scene is so crazy. It's so
True that,
crazy.
true that.
And I feel like they do give you a chance, but it's kind of hard because on the same side of the coin, you have to pay for that chance. And if you don't have the money to pay, then what are you offering? You might as well. That's now the slippery slope, because then you're like, I really want to do this. They're offering me this deal. I don't have the money.
This is so.
I want to do it, but then again, I want to stay true to myself. I don't want to, you know what I mean?
I don't want to sell.
I don't want to like
Yeah.
just
I hear you,
because
yeah.
the money's there and I don't have the money doesn't mean it won't come.
Okay.
So you also have to hold firm in your beliefs and what you believe, and yeah, it'll eventually work out. Just put in the work and the steps, take the steps, you know.
Okay.
Meet the right Anushkas and the right Mo's, you know.
True that. True that.
But yeah.
All right, so this has been fun. This has been fun. I just want us to take 5, you know, and we'll be back.
We'll be back after these messages. Shout out to Vox. Vox Water people.
Yeah, yeah. All right, welcome back, guys. It's the Mind Spark. You know what we do. Still with your boy LOWZ and Anushka and the Nemesis. All right, so I'm about to take a deep dive into, I don't know if we can call it the dark side of music, but it's something that happens in music. And this is substance abuse. So I think I'll start with the Nemesis on this. In your career or in your creative process, do you ever feel the need to use that to perfect what you're doing, or you just go in, feel the vibe?
First of all, it's Nemesis versus LADYRYN. I'm gonna correct you.
okay. Nemesis versus
LADYRYN.
LADYRYN.
Okay. Substance abuse. I'm gonna talk about me. Like I mentioned earlier, I took substances to fill a void and to numb the pain, so they say, and I went too far. But I'm not going to talk about other artists and what they do in the studio and why they do what they do.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie, I used to smoke a joint or two before a studio session because I don't know, it would mellow me out, ease me out.
Okay.
But then eventually I was like, you know what, I really don't need this because I can still make music with or without. I can still do it with or without. So yeah, there's this place in Roma that helped me out. I'm
Okay.
gonna shout them out because they've been part of my sobriety. I went to rehab because of this center, and I feel like a lot of people need to know about it. It's called Sharp Zambia, SHARPZ.
Okay.
And
Shout
it's,
out to them.
It's a rehabilitation center where You can go there and talk about if you have an alcohol problem, if you're being abused at home, anything you can talk about that's bothering you or hindering you. You can go there and talk to them about it. They have great counselors, and they're very lenient when it comes to payment because, as you know, a lot of addicts, they just want to buy the drugs. They don't really care about anything else.
Yeah.
So it's also a toll on the family.
Yeah.
And so the financial side of it, it's like, for me, for example, I couldn't afford it, and they were really understanding. So you pay a little fee towards it. So it's
they really actually
they really
are
help.
about helping and not
Yes,
just
they are really about
the money.
helping. Yeah, they're not about the money.
And I just want to give big ups to you for actually letting us know that you've actually gone through that and you've come out a winner. Because look at you. Look at you. That's big ups to you.
Thanks.
Big ups to you. Big ups to you.
And one more thing, whoever's going through any struggles, don't give up. Take it up with the Lord, and just know you're not alone. And it'll get better one day at a time, and you can do this.
True that. All right, big ups to you.
Thanks.
Big ups to you. And Anushka?
So, if we're talking about substance abuse, that's kind of one of the biggest reasons my dad's so on the fence about me going into this career. Because he knows and I know that a lot of the times in the music industry, you come across drug use.
True that.
And it's very controversial the way drugs are being used in the music industry. I'm not gonna lie and say I've never partook. I've partaken, and I've also been to rehab, but during the time where I was suffering from substance abuse, it was even before I started making music.
Yeah, okay.
And it was definitely, I think, a way to escape, because I wasn't dealing with the grief of losing my mother when I was 19 very well.
Sorry to hear that.
No, it's all right. It happens. I think we all lose a parent at some point in our lives. But I would say, so I definitely think that it's definitely something that's prevalent in the music industry. And I'm not going to say that people haven't made bangers while being on drugs.
Exactly.
And all that.
Look at Lil Wayne, for example.
Sure. However, I will definitely say I don't think that you need drugs to do good stuff.
True.
And I will definitely say that you need to take care of yourself primarily. So, the funny thing is, you think about these big artists that actually do drugs, you don't know actually on the sidelines, they have personal doctors helping them balance everything, and they're not drug addicts.
True that.
They're using drugs as tools, let's say that. But
Yeah.
there's a very fine line between abusing a drug and using it. Because, for example, I could say Valium, right? It's not a bad drug.
Okay.
If you're getting a colonoscopy,
you need that.
You need some Valium. Shit. Oh, sorry, my bad. Like you need it. But obviously, you say you're going and out drinking and you're popping Valiums. That's abuse.
That's abuse.
You know what I'm saying? So I would say it's your relationship with drugs that's the problem, rather than the drug itself.
True.
So I think
like that.
fixing the relationship with yourself becomes the utmost of importance, because in essence, then you'll realize you don't need substances to be a substance.
Wow.
To be of substance.
Say that again. Say that again.
You don't need substances to be of substance.
Wow.
Yeah.
True that. That is deep.
Say
that
no
is
to drugs.
Say no to drugs, people.
Stay in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the right thing. Yeah. Do the right.
Music.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. And so now I'm gonna dive onto the business side of music. So I see today you came with your manager.
Shout out to my manager, because I suck at business.
Okay.
So she, it's a funny story. I met her 3 weeks ago, and I was at a point where I'm thinking in my head, how am I going to actually do this?
Okay.
And I met her at one of the shows I was performing at, and I cannot stress enough gratitude for this woman. She has done for me in 3 weeks what I had expected a bunch of people to do for me in 6 months.
I see.
And so I just have immense gratitude for someone who has such charisma and drive, and she's she has this
amazing.
confidence and
Yeah.
she just has faith.
So it
She
even gives
helps
you that
me.
extra drive to like
Yeah,
really
she's like-
want to go and
she-
do things.
And it's like she doesn't like tolerate BS. She'll look at you and tell you like, you please
Nonsense.
get yourself straight right
Leave
now.
at the door.
Leave at the door. We're working here.
Nice. I like
and
that. I like
and
that.
yeah, so I think what's a struggle as an artist on the business side is becoming business savvy while also being artistic.
Okay.
And you know, some people are blessed with the knowledge and talent of both. I, however, am struggling, but thankfully we keep learning
Every day.
every single day.
Yeah.
And because of my manager,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm learning more about business.
All right, cool. Speaking of the manager, please come join us on the Mind Spark. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
This is Mo, aka Maureen.
Can you move closer? Okay. Yeah. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Mo.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Mo.
Nice to meet you too. But everybody else knows me as Maureen.
Okay.
Or Tunche Lins, you know, the female Weezy.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. So I'm talking about the business. How has it been for you as a manager, and like what do you guys do for an artist to help them get to their next stage in life, like on their music career?
Okay, so as a manager, I've realized that it's not easy.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that all artists are crazy.
Okay.
If you're going to meet talent, best believe that it's not just coming from without.
Okay.
You need to understand that artists also they tap in when they're in a certain state of mind.
Okay.
They tap in when they're creating their music, and then when they come back to normal, it's a whole different person again. So when they're behind the mic, it's a different person, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So also even dealing with them personally, it's a bit
It's a challenge, for lack of a better term.
it's a challenge, but I mean, you need to want it as much as the artist also want it.
True.
Maybe I feel like I actually want it more than the artist.
Because you're there and you see the potential, like, yo,
Exactly.
you can be great.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and you
okay.
constantly have to remind them to say, you are the one.
All
you know,
right.
you are it. And I'm so glad I've worked with both of them. I've seen what both can do. They're very talented, man, and it's challenging. I can tell you that, you know, you go to record labels. I won't mention any name.
We're not name dropping.
We were offered a contract.
Oh,
you know, I
okay.
had my lawyer look at it, and it wasn't something that's, you know, wow. And I've seen artists also who are too quick to sign. She was very close of signing as well.
But you
know.
need to know your worth, you know,
Exactly, and I keep reminding both of them of their worth. I keep
Yeah.
telling them to say, there's better. There's always better than what you're being offered right now. So even that's why with Nemesis, when we went to the studio, you know, when they had to offer what they had to also offer her, I was proud of her walking out also.
Oh yeah,
You know,
oh,
of
nice.
just saying, you know what, I know my worth. I am more worth than this and everything else. So she decided to just be like, okay, I'll remain as an independent artist for now. And yeah, even with Anushka, it's something that we're also trying to push if they don't give us something better.
Okay.
Because we did revise their contract with our lawyer. We went through, so we're still yet to sit with the record label
Okay.
and tell them to say we want this and this and this and this changed. Because most of these record labels don't even give advance payments
For real.
in Zambia.
So like, wait, how does that go? Like, they just want you to come do the work, then they'll tell you.
Not really. Like, I believe when an artist decides to say, okay, we're going to work with you and we're signing. So upon signing, initially at least, a 50,000 should be given. It's called an advancement salary, which most artists, I don't know if they're aware of that. I don't know.
The Mind Spark just gave you game. If you're an artist, did you hear that? You need about like how much?
A 50,000.
You need a signing bonus. No
A
signing bonus.
No
ain't
contract.
signing
We
that.
ain't
You walk-
signing
we're
anything. We're walking away.
Go Craig David on.
Yeah, so it's a challenge. You know, we had a show recently at the Jar Fest, and
Shout out. How did that go? How did that
It
go?
went great. I put so much pressure on Anushka, you know, within 2-3 days. She didn't know the Bob Marley song. She knows the song,
No.
but how to perform it.
Wow,
Look, I haven't
wow.
listened to Bob Marley properly in like 5 years, so
Okay.
I just had to like learn really quick.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, so even when we sent the first clip that we sent to Mr. Shakarongo, thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Big ups.
Shout out
by
One
the-
Love Festival.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big ups, big ups.
The first performance that she had a flu, she was a wreck, she was going through her own issues, you know. So they were a bit skeptical They were like, can she really put this off? But then I assured him, I was like, I know what she can do.
I know Anushka.
I know Anushka. She's just not maybe in the right headspace right now, but give us 2 days. And she had to practice the song in 2 days. I had a friend
Nice.
of mine help me, Charismatic. He helped her as well on how to go about it with the song. And the performance was great and they loved her.
Nice.
Yeah,
Cool stuff.
she made
Cool
me
stuff.
proud. I was recording the video the entire time with tears in my eyes. And I'm like, you've actually pulled it off. It was a big crowd. It
You
was
go,
something
girl.
It's something that she's never really done, but she did it, and we've been called back in September for the next.
Wow, wow.
next
All right,
show,
so
yeah.
big up to you guys.
Yeah, and then
cool
you know
stuff.
we have challenges with like producers, like we say, it's not easy. But I have a friend of mine, Marka. He's really good. He's with Apaili, so you know at least they're flexible. You know,
Okay.
you're able to agree to say, okay, look, we have this amount. Can we do something? And then we finish off maybe like the payments as we, you know, at least we have that where they give us that opportunity to say, okay, let's work, pay a little bit of something, and then you finish it off, and you know.
Okay.
So it is challenging, you know, the transport and logistics and all those things, wardrobes, and these are things that we are actually trying to also looking for people that we can work with, you know,
Okay.
who can come on board, endorsement deals on how we can have everything running, you know.
I think it's about that time Zambia also jumped on that bandwagon.
Definitely,
just
you know.
leaving things to an artist like, yo, they're dealing with the music already. At
Exactly.
least, yeah. So that's where y'all come in, and
Exactly.
I like that.
You know,
I
I'm
like
running
that.
around, going
Yeah.
different places, trying to make sure we have different people to have those endorsement deals, because I feel like the record labels are not giving in as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's for Nemesis with the manager and almost signing. Yeah. And sorry.
Anushka,
my
almost.
bad,
We're gonna sign if they give us something better. If when we revise with them, if they're able to agree with reducing the certain percentages on their part and increasing it on our part.
I see. I like
Yes.
that. Business minded.
Gotta stay sharp.
Then now, when it comes to you, who's independent, how is it for you?
Okay, so like Anushka had mentioned in one of her points, she said she's not good with business.
Okay.
For me, I had to learn the business language and like the lingo and the terms, and then I had to read on artist agreements, royalties, and all that. When you walk into a studio, when I walk into a studio with an artist agreement, some agree and some take it with a grain of salt. Others are like, what do you mean you want royalties of my song? What does that mean? I'm like, well, it means you, the producer, and I own the song.
Exactly.
So now what we need to agree on is who owns what percentage of the song.
Percentages comes down to that now.
And it's just an agreement. So the reason most don't want to sign it is because they don't want to be legally bound by something, because majority are not doing it with a good intention.
I see.
So being independent, funny story, Mo tried to manage me, but I was one of the crazy ones.
Yeah, like she said.
I was one of the crazy ones.
Yeah,
So
like she
Don't get it twisted. I give her a problem. There's times we're just sitting like,
We're just arguing and we're not talking for a bit, trying to cool off.
like there was a time where I looked at her, I'm like, please don't talk shit, and then walked away.
all the behind the scenes.
Behind the
like,
scenes,
people
yes.
don't
So
see, okay.
it's not easy, but then again, like she said, Mo really wanted it for me, but like I was still dealing with traumas from past business
Previous
relationships, and
The
I
right
wasn't.
space.
I was
Yeah.
just going through it, and for me, sadly, when I'm going through it, everybody must go through it. You're coming. So yeah, it's been a journey. I mean, almost 10 years under my belt.
Yeah, wow.
and not even giving up, but it's hard because like there's days where I don't want to get out of bed, I don't want to listen to music, I don't want to write music, and that's like the sad part. But people like Mo are very important to like building an artist's career, and I see them going very far, and like, there's no hate.
And you guys are going for one love, one love.
One love, one love, one love, one love, one love. Yeah, so thanks, Mo.
You're welcome, and I know what these two can do together. It's crazy. We're about to drop an album for you.
Oh yeah, some mixtape in the archives,
Everything,
cooking.
EPs, everything, you know, these guys are about to shake the music industry in Zambia.
I would love to hear that because I've listened to them separately, and I really also feel the way you feel like together. Yo,
You're amazing.
the world is yours. The world is yours.
The world is their oyster.
All right. All right, so I would like our viewers to also get that feeling of what me and you have experienced, you know, when we listen to these people.
Yeah.
So what the Mind Spark has decided to do is to let them perform each of their songs, you know. And while they're doing that, I just want you also now just to come back and just tell me what inspired that particular song. I'll start with you. You can let us know what song you're gonna perform and what was behind that particular song.
Mo, don't look at her like that. Easy.
She's managing the minds. You saw that?
Yeah. The look your mom gives you.
I'm sending a message telepathically.
Yeah, I see.
I'm oblivious to all of this. I have no idea what these guys are talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so the song that I'm going to be performing is called Sober.
Okay.
And it's about not being sober.
Oh wow.
And
The irony.
it's definitely about escapism and feeling like you don't have a place with the people you're with in a way.
Okay.
So it's about like feeling betrayed by the people who were meant to help you, and it's really about female rage. Like one of the lyrics that goes is like silent violence, and it's like I think a lot of women understand the pain and anger where they can't react, but they just feel it, and it's like it's just an emotion. So that song is about that like feeling of rage and sadness.
Okay.
Because a lot of anger does come with sadness. You know?
True that. All right, nice. So Sober, that's the song that we're gonna be listening to and vibing to, coming from our girl Anushka right here.
Hope y'all are sober though.
True that. All right, cool stuff. And the Nemesis, please, versus. Say it with me.
Nemesis versus
say it with me.
LADYRYN.
Hey, oh yeah.
You put it on the spot like that.
Hey, like I got nervous.
I'm gonna do
Prom
Mo's-
night nervous.
I'm gonna do Mo's favorite song.
Oh, okay.
It's not out yet. I'm doing a video this weekend. If anyone wants to be in the video, East Park, 14 hours. I don't know if this will be out by then. But Saturday, what's the date on Saturday? Saturday is when I'm filming for the song. It's called Chilling in the 260.
Oh, okay.
260 Zambia's area code, as you know.
Yeah.
It's touching on the drug use, the struggles the girl child goes through, this Lusaka, you know, like the things that happen in Lusaka. The bird.
Bird
Kids
seed.
who are being abandoned
Yeah.
in the streets.
Oh,
you
all
know.
that.
And I'm talking about like my struggles as well.
Mad respect.
So
mad
the
respect.
inspiration came from that period where I wasn't doing anything.
Oh, okay.
So this is one of the songs I recorded, and I was like, okay, I still got it. So yeah, Chilling in the 260.
I like that. So yo, it's chilly here. Talking about chilling. You know, it's quite chilly out here.
Oh, we bring in the heat, right?
Yeah.
Right? We bring in the heat, right?
So you guys, it's been the Mind Spark, you know. I hope you had as much fun watching us as we had bringing this to y'all. So catch us same time next week. Peace out, much love.
Steez on the beat.
Yeah. It's that time, yeah. Chillin', I'm chillin'. I'm chillin' in the 260, chillin' in the 260 with my woe. Man, I'm chillin' in the 260 with my woe. cruising down the Great East. I'm on to something. I can't wait till it's time to get what's mine. Cruising, thinking about the next stop. Half past, drunk o'clock, yeah, and we still up. Yeah, I'm chillin' in the 260, chillin' in the 260 with my woe. Yeah, 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 yeah. I keep on chasing this dream like I'm a fiend, closing my eyes and realizing it's just another scene in this life. Some things I make believe in this life, make believe, make this dream take me to different heights, different sights. I'm on the cloud, so loud. We all got vices and prices on our souls, we lose control. You got little girls selling their souls for a trip, or maybe even a little kid. Yeah, you know how it goes in the 260, yeah. In the 260 with my woe. Got plenty people that didn't believe me, but you know I had to let them go. Now I'm about to lose control. Too many youngsters willing to easily lose their soul. You thinking it's the devil, it's just codeine and some Sprite. Shawty be doing all kinds of things just to get by. Ooh, what a ride. Yeah, 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 yeah. I said I'm chillin' in the 260 with my woes, yeah, with my woes. Chillin', chillin' in the 260 with my woes. Yeah,